Hello, friends. Okay, so expanding on the idea of being an adult and being honest, I think one of our greatest struggles with that, and the reason we find it so difficult or we just don't do it every day, is because we lack the connection with ourselves. So if we're not demanding it of ourselves, meaning we've just created this lifestyle where we push down our feelings or we ignore our triggers and wounds, and we feel any negative emotion, we're like, oh yikes, I gotta get out of that emotion really fast and be happy again. If we have a lifestyle of like that and create habits like that, we are not living honest with ourselves. Therefore we will never be able to live honestly before other people, which will hinder our relationships from being deep, being authentic, and truly being seen and known by other people, which will discount our belief in people really loving us back. So if you feel like I did most of my life, which was this never-ending leak in my love tank, I had a lot of love in my life, but I never felt loved, and it was so frustrating to everyone in my life and to me. And the core of that issue was me and all that I was denying within myself, all that I was choosing not to be honest about. And I suffered the most because of it, and then the people closest to me suffered the most, and then from there on, because I never felt truly seen or known, because I wasn't knowing myself. I wasn't truly allowing myself to be seen, because I was trying to hide all these parts of me or cover them up or smooth them out so they'd be a little bit more presentable or acceptable in different circles or with certain people or whatever. And so if you find in your life that you don't have a lot of authentic people around you, I would beg to question what the common denominator is there, and that would be you. And then how honest are you being with yourself, and where can you be more honest and real about what's really happening? My new way that I teach my kids, I don't teach them to control their emotions anymore. When they feel anger or they feel sadness or disappointment or hurt or whatever it is, I say, that's okay. It truly is okay. And what I mean by okay, we don't harm ourselves or other people or destroy property ever, but we let those feelings come up and move through us. We're not going to try to hide them or go to a closet and have our feelings by ourselves and, because that's a negative emotion. We don't want to show anybody that. No, we all have fucking negative emotions, okay? So instead of trying to hide them or make them go away or turn our back on them and be like, oh, yikes, I'm not angry. No, not me. Turn around and face that shit and say, I am angry. And let that be a beacon or an indicator of where you need to show up for yourself and be honest and dig a little bit deeper, just a little bit deeper. You don't have to go for months of counseling just because you got angry one time or you exploded or something, or you felt sad one day when really you're the happy person. You just let that emotion kind of lead you to the root trigger or wound, and then show up for yourself and be like, man, I hear you. I see why that is triggering you, or why that feels really sensitive or raw, and fucking be honest about it. So the more you do that with yourself, the more you will do that with other people, which will allow you to have truly genuine relationships, the kind of deep relationships that are fulfilling and that satisfy you. And you, when you're alone and away from those people, you still feel full because you have truly shared who you are and they have seen you. You've allowed yourself to be seen, and they have witnessed you in all your glory and all your mess and all your shit, and they just say, yeah, me too, or they just validate who you are as a human. And then you get to take that validation home because you validated yourself first, and then you allowed yourself to be seen, the real you, and you weren't hiding it. And that's when you start to keep the love inside your love tank instead of it just leaking, slowly leaking out of you. So I really encourage you guys to just try it, practice. The way I started was, again, just journaling. Like, I was triggered, and like anytime I feel any emotion, whether it's true happiness or joy or excitement or anger, or sadness, just like that gloominess looming over me. I hate those days. So now I stop and I'm like, okay, whoa. I'm feeling like heavy or like off or unsettled about something. And so I just go straight to my journal, and I don't know what I'm going to write, beforehand, but I just sit there and I say, today's one of those days where I just feel weird. And I just let it go from there. And it always, every single time, whether it's a paragraph or 6 pages, I come out with, you know what? I'm going to show compassion to myself. It's okay to feel weird some days. Maybe it's hormones, maybe it's, stress, maybe it's sadness, or, I'm busy, or whatever it is. My kids freaked out, or I don't know. It could be like a million different things. But by the end of my journaling sesh, I'm like a little bit more cognizant of my own triggers and my own pain or what I'm feeling. And then it doesn't have to like haunt me all day or week or month, because I faced it. I looked it, straight in the eyes, and I was like, okay, what are you? Let's name you, and let me process this a little bit. And that's how you show up for yourself. And then you can show yourself to other people like the true you. And then you can start being loved, and it's wonderful, and you'll have so much more joy in life. So get after it, people. Start being honest. You can do it, I promise. But practice. It takes practice. Okay.